lot of people don't understand. That inflation doesn't go away. Here's how inflation works. Let's look at oil. Okay, we're going to look at oil, and I'm going to show you the correlation between oil and how inflation works. And we're just going to show you how a lot of people think, okay, inflation's up 8% last year. Oh, that's bad. No, I can't wait for it to get back to zero because prices will go back to where they were. Doesn't work that way. So if you go back to those times, you can see basically from 2016 to 2020, it was about the consumer inflation. This is the number, kind of one of the numbers that the Fed wants at 2%. It was there. And the Fed cut. They were cutting, and they continued to cut rates and keep them low a little too long. Okay, so then what happened is inflation started to really peak. Okay, so you're thinking, okay, how did things spike up so high? Well, think about it. During COVID, people, if you didn't lose your job, you still continued to get money there. If you got COVID relief, you got money on top of that money. And then if you had a student loan, the two biggest debts that you probably have is student loan debt and a house payment. If you had a loan that was with Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, you didn't have to make a house payment. And then if you had a student loan, you didn't have to make a student loan payment. So during these times, consumers had the most money in their pockets ever in history. And then it kind of depleted right after that. What happens when you have way too much money chasing way too few goods? Well, inflation. Okay, that's what causes inflation. But here's what a lot of people don't understand. That inflation doesn't go away. It just keeps compounding on itself. So if you went from 2015, you added all this inflation and you compound it, it equates out to our inflation is up 35% since 2015. So that means your dollar is worth less. Now, let me go over here and I'll explain to you how this really matters for interest rates.